Hello and welcome to episode 9 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here with the Iron Teeth in Cycle 16, Day 1. Last time, we got some stuff up and running with our metal production, got a mine built. I'm not currently using it because there's still some scrap metal to be had on the map, and I don't want to get all of our beavers super injured before it's time. Well, not that it's ever time for beavers to be super injured, but I digress. We still have a ways to go in terms of establishing industrial security, as it were, before building our enormous dam here. We do still have some demolition to do to bring the land down, and then start thinking about how we want to approach the filling in of the river. Not completely filling it in, just partially underneath where everything's going to go so we can grow more crops and taking care of other things, and a couple really good ideas you guys posed in the comments. So, moving right along, one of the most commonly requested things that I've seen a couple videos now, people are saying, hey, why don't you just put in one of the things on top of the bad water that lets it just keep going forever? And we could definitely do that. We have the science. We have the materials, for the most part. Don't have all of them, but it wouldn't be too long to make them. But I'm just questioning whether it would be a super wise move to do that right now, or to invest the metal especially into the construction of our large reservoir area over here. Power-wise, we're not in a terrible spot because, you know, we do have the engines that we can turn on if we need them, and we are currently overproducing for our food especially. Well, for the amount of beavers we have. But there's plenty of stuff for us to do. We're going to keep on going here. And I think especially focus on optimizing some stuff. Like somebody brought up in the comments of the last video, there's no water storage over here where the beavers actually live. So they have to go, I mean, it's not that far. It's not a big map. But they do have to travel to drink. And some of the food is over here. We do have a stack of a little bit. But you know what? I should probably have these set as obtain. That would probably help because I'm pretty sure the storage is closest to where these things are being produced or being filled up before anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, because we have plenty of science, I'm going to get rid of this inventor. You guys keep going on and on and on about number crunchers, so I guess I'm going to have to build one of those at some point. But we go ahead and just put in a little storage for water here so the beavers don't have to go all the way around everywhere to try and take care of all of that stuff. So put this in triple speed mode. I'm used to water beavers because that's what I played yesterday, where I'm getting 7 frames per second on single time speeds. Like, wait, I can speed it up and it's not going to be terrible. Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh? But what we're doing here, of course, is blasting our land down to be level ultimately with these metal platforms. I did kind of toy with the idea, and you guys suggested as much in the comments a couple times, of staggering these, raising them up a little bit, so we're going to be able to see underneath here. But I mean, in the interest of simplicity, I think this probably is fine. When we actually go to build, then maybe I'll have a change of heart about it, but I don't think it's really going to be that necessary to do something crazy. Now, I mean, all that being said, it really wouldn't be hard for us to just do, say, something like this, which is part of the design that some of you guys have been asking for down there. But basically, the idea would be that as it comes up this way, then it also goes up this way. And we would have plenty of space, even if we just did, okay, for the sake of demonstration, since we're all here. No, not there. It's hard for me to have depth perception, I guess. But just so you guys can see what that would look like. That's what that would look like from here. Obviously, this would have other stuff, but you could, well, these would not be here. Pretend those aren't here. I'm just stacking for the sake of showing what it looks like. I think it would look fine. I'm not opposed to it. I just question the merits of doing that and complicating the build process more than it needs to be. I don't know. If you really like this idea and enough people say, hey, we absolutely have to do this, then yeah, okay, I guess we can do it, but not particularly inclined to make more complicated than it necessarily has to be. So, go ahead and just get rid of all this stuff, and we'll move on to try to get the rest of this stuff taken care of. It would have been really nice to be able to, you know, kind of combine a drought with construction of some of this, but we don't really have enough resources to be stacking up anyway. So that's another thing that we're going to need to do today is ramp up the production of especially metal, because I think what the math for our simple design, including this much, without accounting for the impermeable floors, which is going to be another several hundred metal, is over 1,000 metal. So we very clearly are not going to be able to survive just with 2 smelters. Although, you know, probably could be a whole lot worse. I'm going to prioritize these 2x-haulers. I know every 2 hours we'll get 1 metal, but if we need 1,000, that's, yeah. Not going to be a quick process. So the fun part now is going to be, can I... Oh, okay. It is actually going to work, because of course, you know, this thing currently being paused because we don't need it, but it still takes up space. I guess easy thing for us to do is just pop this mess right here. And I'm just going to... I already had that open. Just going to go ahead, get this situated right like so to bring in another smelter, and we'll just keep on stacking this stuff. I don't really have any other little medium storages that really need to exist over here. We just kind of, we kind of got most of what we need. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. So, yeah, we'll just so we have space to store things, I will go ahead and put in some more metal storage there. That'll give us another 360. Get this blasted out, as one does. But grand scheme of things, I think honestly we're going to be okay. Now the reason I'm going to build this as 2 sets of platforms is so that we can just, if we ever have to put something underneath here, I can just delete this and it's not going to be a problem. But that'll get us pretty much most of the way where we need to go. Blast that down. Now we can have access down here. Get that connected. Same deal here. Put these guys to work. And, you know, we can gradually expand this as we need more storage, but for right now I think we're going to be fine. All right, prioritize that thing by haulers. So, essentially, 4 of these, 1 hour, 1 metal block. Assuming the scrap metal can keep up, which is every hour. One of these smelters uses half of a piece of scrap metal. So yes, at some point we are going to have to turn the mine on, but as long as we delay that, then we're going to be better off for the non-incapacitation of beavers, if that even remotely makes sense. But yes, there will come a time when this will be exhausted. We will have to come over here, and then we'll have to have the mine operating. But to be honest with you, I kind of want to leave at least a little bit of this for emergency metal, because once all this is gone, we're going to be limited to only getting, let me just go ahead and say 9, for all intents and purposes, roughly every hour, 3 scrap metal. And that's the most. 3 scrap metal every 0.9 hours is your fastest you're going to get. Forever. For the rest of the playthrough, no matter what. Because that is the only remaining source of metal on the map. So it would behoove us to delay that as much as possible in terms of running out of stuff, making smart use of metal and not just building a whole bunch of random overhangs everywhere into... Well, okay. Admittedly, this is probably going to qualify as building a whole bunch of random overhangs everywhere. Because, let's face it, you don't really need this much storage. But I thought it would be cool, and we never do mega builds, so I figured that would be a nice thing to try at least once. So we can, you know, Pretend like we're being the fun YouTubers who do all that stuff. All right. Other stuff we might want to consider. An idea that I really liked, since we have this too wide, I guess, barrier around the outside here, it was suggested that we can build gravity batteries on this block and then dynamite this all the way down on the very outside and then have that obviously connected to power somewhere. And I like that idea. I think that is a really clever way to hide it because I hate looking at these things. But that would probably help us store a whole bunch of power. Alternatively, were we to do flywheels, I actually haven't even checked if that's available. I think it might be. Somebody might have mentioned that. But I was thinking about just putting the flywheels in the bottom of this big reservoir thing. I don't know. We can get to that at some point. When we get to the point where it's going to be necessary to do that, then I guess we can discuss it. But just want to... oh, actually, that one has to be... That one has to be brought all the way down. Is that... No, that's 4. It's okay. It's going to have to be 2 and 2, regardless. End up taking the same amount of resources. Other suggestion that was made that I also liked was to create a canal for the bad water to go around like the back of the map here and then discharge this way, but put water wheels in the canal and get some power that way. The only problem we would end up having would be the way that this is set up. Currently, I can't... Well, I guess I could just peel this back. The way this is set up, this would shut... Well, I guess I could just rotate it, honestly. If we just made it 2 blocks wide. So, like, say, for example, on this back side of the map here, have gravity batteries just all the way down this side, completely hidden, except for, I guess, the structure up top. And then build this up so we could have... Even if it's just a 2 wide. I think a 2 wide... 2 deep should have no problem getting this quantity of bad water off the map. But that would give us a chance to put a little aqueduct here. Again, come around the entire backside, and then, I don't know, however long it has to be to put a whole bunch of these large water wheels. Or if we really, really felt like it, we could make a 1 wide, just make it really deep, and just put these compact water wheels everywhere. That's an option too. But that's not something we're going to be able to do immediately, so... probably just sit on that idea for a while, and when we get to the point where we can actually do something about it, then do something about it. But I just want to make sure I'm letting you guys know different ideas that people have put forth, things that I think might be fun, might be worth doing, or something that we have not done before in a playthrough that I would like to try. So. Progress marches ever onward with us attempting to do something about all this mess. If we're going to make a channel here, then I probably need to figure that out pretty quick, because the next line of dynamite I'd be putting down in this area would be this path right here. But if we're going to have a channel here, then what I would need to do instead would be build this up here. And obviously we don't need to have this path here. I just have it here because it was convenient. But the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be a worthwhile thing for us to do. And we could, depending on how we want to go with stuff, we could put these large water wheels just for the purpose of illustration. This is an exact location where it would go, but with the nubs going off the side of the map there. And we could have our recreation stuff that requires power, like the wind tunnels and the motivatoriums and the mud baths and everything, could actually be on top of the reservoir, powered by all this. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's actually pretty fantastic. So why don't we plan on doing that? Obviously, it's not something we can do immediately, but plant the seed, so to speak. Get these pathways out of here. We will need to, first of all, need to decide how tall this is going to be. I think the height that it's at now is probably fine. Obviously, we could go substantially taller. In fact, I'll just show you in the corner. Oh, it's not that much taller, but that is the highest that terrain can get built. And I'm pretty sure levees can go a lot higher than that. Yeah, that is just obnoxiously, comically high. I don't think I want to do that. So, goodbye. We'll just leave it at this level. I think it's going to be fine. We also have to be able to, you know, get the water high enough for this to work, which would most likely require us to disassemble this and rebuild it one block higher. Not opposed to that, but the time to do that is not right now in day 10, because we could very well have a bad tide and then, well, yeah, you don't want that. So let's just let this go. If we have a drought, then that would be the perfect time to do it. But if it's a bad tide, we're going to be really, really, shall we say, unhappy that we will have tried that. So I'm going to go ahead and blast out this bit right here. 2 down, that one down, and I'm going to start building this land up here in preparation for us to try and get something going. So I think to do this the way that we're going to want to do this, going to have to recognize this is going to be the end of our water thing here. Thinking out loud. Some of you guys don't like when I do that, but that's okay. So we got storage for how much? 720. That should be okay. That'll get us most of the way there. But yeah, you see this number of... Stop moving around. Stop, scrap metal. I've got storage for 720, 540. Yeah, okay, I'm tired of that moving around. But we got storage for it. Lumberjack flags, nothing left to cut down. I don't think. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that. And yes, number cruncher fiends. We are going to build one. Eventually. Can't forget to plant the canola there. My problem with the number crunchers has always been, where in the whatever do I put those stupid things? Because they take up so much space. And I do not have the luxury of putting stuff just willy-nilly anywhere on the map at this point. Like, it would have to be... Honestly, it wouldn't even really fit here that well either. Man, I just... It is a very inconvenient building. That's what it is. I got nothing really to positively to say about it. It just... Why is it a plus shape? Why isn't it just 4x4? Why are you like this? It's not necessary to be like this. Anyway, yeah, we'll just have to put it here, I guess, and just live our lives. Gear-wise, probably okay. The constant 500 HP power draw just is really unappealing to me. We really don't have that much extra going right now, and we'd have to start burning logs to make that work. Alright, this is... I'm not going to blow these up. I'll blow these up. I'm not going to blow the rest of those up quite yet. We do need to come over here and get up to the top without having to go around this mess. The idea being, I want to be able to actually construct stuff over here. And, okay, yeah, that's going to work. Just get around the back that way, because then I can get rid of all this. This deep water pump here does not need to exist. It's just here because it was already here. No real reason to get rid of it until we actually need the space. So I guess that's going to be fine. The other interesting thing I guess to think about here is, now that I have this channel, I think I'm pretty much committed to putting this in. The reservoir is only going to be, because remember, this is going to have a thing on there. It's going to be 4, that's going to be 9, 14, 19, 20, 21 on this side, inside. And on this side, inside, would be 4, and then 9, and then 14, and then 15, 16, 17, 18-ish. I think is how that's going to work. So it's going to be a lot smaller than it originally was going to be, but I think it's going to be fine. Versus before I said, oh, we're going to have a huge reservoir that's going to be 25 by 20 by however many, I don't know, 10, 12 blocks tall. And that sounded exciting, but not going to be the case so much anymore. Well, that's the way it goes. This guy is now going to have a much longer commute to work in the morning, but that's okay. It's all for the greater good here. I'm just going to... I guess I'm going to have just regular land for that. Be fine there. If we're going to have this bit on the end, yeah, the bit on the end I'm going to do as levees. And since it's going to be going that way... Oh, we're going to have a silly Billy moment, aren't we? If they're going to get all stuck back there. Well, hopefully not. I guess we'll see what happens. Just let them do what they're going to do. This is going to end up going away anyway. I can just take these out. Crisis averted. A little weird to be on day 14 and not at least have the warning yet. That's for sure. Alright, so now that we can come across here, I can feel pretty safe getting rid of that, getting rid of that, and then not blasting this yet. Not yet. Gonna be fine. Nobody's going across here. Oh no, it's not connected. We're gonna... No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Alright, so now we have the start of our little canal here. Keep in mind, in Update 6, the water wheels no longer have an effect on water being held back, I'm pretty sure. See, that's why I didn't do this yet. So it's always going to be possible for us to have a bad tide. And that would have been a bad time if we would have done that. So, moving across here, we have these lovely natural overhangs. It would be a shame to get rid of them. But considering that this has to be at the edge of the map, they're kind of just whatever they are. And I guess we can kind of work into this if we feel so inclined by building these things, these 2x1 overhangs. Actually, it was going to have to be 3. Yeah, we'll just end up doing that. But we will get rid of the blockage here and the blockage here. So we can actually build on top of that. Get that gone. Yeah, this is just going to be so much easier this way. Is it going to let me put a terrain block here? No. Okay. Well, that's fine. Main thing I was trying to do is just make sure we actually kind of use the same stuff. And yeah, you know what? That'll work. That'll work. We'll actually be able to manage that pretty well. So, levee here, and then, again, as a reminder, we cannot build terrain blocks on stuff that is not terrain. So, this will end up being terrain. These dirt blocks will go away. This will be the same height over here, and as soon as this is all done, which won't be too long, we'll get rid of that. These trees, these last 4, are not going to be replanted, because we'll have a canal going through here. But that's fine. We still have plenty of space for other stuff. And don't forget, we can build on top of the canal for housing or recreation or any other manner of pursuits. And I think that's going to be what we end up doing long term. But there's just so much opportunity for us to take advantage of space here, especially now that the water doesn't have to go down every so many blocks. It'll just flow basically forever. Not going to have any issues there. But just because I had a terrifying thought of paranoia 10 seconds ago, let's just check this. Okay, close below contamination. Close above contamination. Those are all good. All right, we're going to be just fine. Going to be a-okay. Let's check our yep, we got water here. That's fine. This is actually done. And Number Cruncher is going to be crunching the numbers as soon as that gets built. It is kind of funny taking the stuff from the the mine supply to build this thing. But yes, if it will finally allow us to move on from the build number crunchers thing, then that's probably worth it just for that alone. And we can get rid of these things and use this space better. It's all a process. A very, very long process. But a process nonetheless. We can go ahead and build these here. Get this situated there. This dirt is actually empty, which is going to be a good opportunity for us to just build actual dirt. And make that empty first. Only a little bit of scrap metal left here, which is going to mean... Okay, first of all, we have to get this powered this way. I think it's going to mean as soon as we have all of those inventor huts turned off, we're going to send them to the mines. So I'm going to go, just for the sake of, you know, seeing nice numbers, go with 9 employees. And look at that. All the bad water's going off the map. A couple of you have taken objection to this, which is fine. Saying that it's not technically an exploit, it's a whatever thing that the game will let you do. But in the interest of, you know, actually utilizing it to our advantage, having the canal, I think, is going to be a really good way to do it. Now, granted, it's only going to be operating a certain part of the time, because it's only for bad water. But it's nice to have the option to be able to use it. So in the interest of... Okay, that's almost empty. Almost empty. The interest of preparation. Go ahead and get this situated here. Blast this down. This, of course, will have to be our walls for the aqueduct. That's all going to take time to get these trees cut down. Some of them are still growing. It's going to be a while. Not quite... I see this and I think, oh, it's empty, but that's not how that works at all. Absolutely not how that works at all. All right. Yeah, we're going to need to go ahead and probably pretty radically relocate most of the rest of this stuff. Also going to need to blast this down as well. I keep forgetting because, of course I do. I think... Well, I can do this whole mess all by myself. I can just come up here, but I want to make sure that I can actually get to the rest of this to take care of it. Alright, so still power-wise looking okay. The demand is 3570, yes, but I can fix a little bit of that by turning these other 2 engines on. That's fine. These are mostly idle anyway, but now that we have the number cruncher, I'm just going to get rid of them. Yeah, I'll get rid of that one too. No more knowledge. No more Lamborghinis in your garage. That's an old YouTube meme. I guess. Yeah, we don't have to run this constantly. I really don't want to run out of metal because that's going to be our driving force to getting everything else accomplished. Now I can replant these oaks here for sure, at the very least. Yeah, we'll just go directly here. I might leave this unplanted for right now in case I want to build access up to the top of this. See what we're going to be working with. But as you can see, there's very little scrap metal actually left. And we're going to have to get going sooner rather than later on that. Okay, so like I said, this is going to end up being regular levees. Got to build here, pretty much. I guess for where we're at now, I probably need to just focus on actually building the thing and not worry about exactly where stuff is going. So, to that end, take that out, take that out, take that out. Now, this is a pretty important connection here that is going to move because of how this is set up. We will get to that point when we get to that point. I think this is fine to be left where it was. Not going to need to worry about it. Yeah, they'll be able to build all of that just fine. Get these dynamites dynamited. Hopefully, yep, there we go. As soon as the bad tide is up... Well, as soon as the bad tide is up and as soon as this is kind of sealed... Oh, good, these guys are done. Get that taken care of. Gotta get a little bit more this way so we can plant those. But the rest of this can go. Scrap metal just needs to get picked up off the ground. Did have a request in the comments for guys to pick stuff up off the ground, but there's not really that much on the ground. Honestly, we've, I think, got almost all of it. It's just a little ugly because we have this nasty water everywhere. But for the most part, I think we're doing fine. Grab that out of the way. The dirt obviously is not going to go anywhere until I actually have somewhere to put dirt in the first place. So that's fine, I suppose. I mean, there's going to be a lot of blasting. There doesn't have to be, but there's going to be a lot of blasting as we continue working on all the rest of this. I'm kind of worried about filling in the river and that it might flood stuff before we have a diversion set up. We can, don't forget, we can divert this way. It doesn't have to just be bad water, because we're going to disassemble and raise this whole thing another block anyhow. And I hope that this is going to be enough. A 2x2. The waterfall limit might be a little bit of an issue, but if we have to, we can stagger that by putting this here so there will be 3 edges instead of 2 to fall off, and that should hopefully take care of that. Because I think the math on this, just to count this again, go into dev mode, 1.5, 2, and 1.5, so it's a total of 5 out of dev mode. Which 2.2 CMS per face would technically be higher than what the 2 would allow, so we will, when we go in and set this up, we will need to stagger it ever so slightly, but that should take care of it pretty easily, I hope. Always a possibility that it doesn't, you know, play nice, and that's just the way it goes. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this because we're not going to pick it up unless we get those things popped in there, and that'll actually be all 36 of those pieces of dirt represented as terrain blocks. Yeah, I've got to move this pathing here. This ladder stack, it might be okay, but we're not really gonna have too much of a chance to take care of that. All right. So now I've got 16 vacant jobs. Yeah, because what happened? As soon as I turned the mine on, 3 times as many beavers are injured. All right, I got 187 here. Still stockpiling metal blocks, which is good. We need those. Now the water is coming back in. As it does, that's fine. Got a little bit more in the way of dynamite here. We have extract. We have explosives. We have bad water, although it's pretty much being used as soon as we pump it. I guess that's fine. Oh, these can go away. These inventors. That's done. This is land we could use at some point in the future. Okay, so this is now ready. This ladder is going to have to move so we can, you know, actually get somewhere. This is going to have to get rotated. Honestly, having this here isn't the worst idea. We just have to rotate the doorway and then take this out if we want to be crafty here. Yeah, do one of these numbers, right, like so. And just run the path over the top. And that will allow us to get up to the top here as well. Just have to build it. Yeah, then this slope can go away. Or I can force them to build it by I have to set it to demolish. Please hold. There we go. Then, of course, this will just be regular dirt because we have the ability to use regular dirt. That's a path there, path there. Path under here? No. Okay. That's fine. This will end up getting built like so. This will be wood. Oh, I forgot this has to be set for dirt. That's fine there. Yeah, and I'm going to have to take these stairs out and probably put a ladder up on the inside, and then when we get to that point, fill that back in. That needs to be filled in there. Now, is that something I can use terrain for, or... No, that's a natural overhang. That's got to be wood. Alright. Think twice about coming over here. Yep, that's right. Levee's gone. That's got to be regular old dirt. As well, it doesn't have to be, but I just like it when stuff matches. Never heard that one before. Did somebody get stuck? Are you serious, dude? Oh. So it magically teleported him up to where he can escape. Alright, well that's convenient. I didn't even check and see who that was, so you're lucky. You're lucky. I can't name and shame you. I didn't have a chance to click on you. Okay, alright. Let's... Remember, we're not putting water wheels in here yet. Let's just put in here. I don't think I'm going to need to have any more dirt storage than I already do. At least not over here, so that's fine. I will just bring that in there. Eventually, look at that all taken care of. I keep forgetting to come over here and detonate these. Alright, so that's going to be a double. Then I can just do this one little bit at a time. And, oh man. The deep water pumps. I mean, once this whole thing is built, we're not going to have to worry about it ever again because we're going to have a ton of them. They're going to be staffed and they're going to be perfect. But I still worry about our ability to keep our water tanks full for the time being. Okay, this one for sure can get popped back in. We're getting there. We're not too far off having the rest of this stuff taken care of. We just have to, you know, be able to do it. Do what you can, whenever you can do it. That's what it's going to have to be. Can they reach this? They cannot. Alright, that is going to be an interesting problem to solve here. Because you want them to have access to stuff, but some of these are not going to be that easy to get to. I guess I'll just have this go straight through here. I know they're not going to be able to reach this anyway. Well, some of it I guess they can. As the trees get removed, it'll be that much easier to take care of. Just got to keep an eye on stuff. Blast this out, blast this out. Just keep on keeping on. That'll be a 3 and then another 2. Then we can blast this as well. This is also going to go away. I just have to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. I hope this doesn't look too bad. I do like using this natural overhang as kind of a support. I think that's cool. So... bravo to that, I suppose. Just trying to keep up with what all I can accomplish without going too crazy. Okay, we're actually generating a good amount of power. The science situation... Honestly, right now I'm just going to pause this. And I'm going to pause my engines, because we don't need those going. Okay, maybe we do. Maybe we need one. But this would just be burning logs. We don't need to throw those away. And since we have 17,000 science that we're not currently using, no reason to burn logs just to make science when we are very clearly in a favorable position right now. Obviously, the rest of the stuff we might need to unlock. And there's other things that we should get to, like the deep mechanical pumps and, well, the food stuff's all... Yeah, the industrial stuff's already all unlocked with the exception of gravity batteries and then bots. Well-being we could invest some in, but that's a little ways down the road. Well-being is down to... okay, it's the injury, probably. Coffee, we did lose a little bit of our land for coffee. Easy to fix that by just planting more coffee beans. In fact, I got space right here. Not a lot of space right here. Coffee. I guess some of this right here probably would be fine. Yeah, let's just do that. Just do that. Put those there because then I can remove these guys and completely square off my my mangrove thing. But we're not really in a position where we absolutely have to have that yet. We're doing okay. Well, the fun part about where we are now is we get to just play catch up with all of these individual trees that are getting removed and think about maybe blasting down here for gravity batteries at some point. But right now, I think just checking out individual things as they become things we need to deal with is going to be the best way to go about it. I think at this point, I can safely remove the triple floodgates. We're not going to need to worry about this. 9-day droughts are not going to cause us that much grief regardless, so let's recover those materials. I guess that as well, because that's all going to get removed. Eventually they'll pick it up as we start, you know, blowing things up. It is a little bit of a shame to get rid of these natural overhangs here, but this is all going to be reservoir before too long. Just got to remember what our dimensions are going to look like and figure that out as necessary. So, yeah, this bit here, for sure, this bit right here needs to go down 2. Well, actually, this needs to go down 3 because I have to be able to fit the actual platform in. And that was why this was getting taken care of. So, if we want to avoid flooding, while also blasting this, we can just get rid of these natural overhangs, but I don't want to get rid of them quite yet. I want to try and do this the most logical way possible here, which is almost certainly going to end up being illogical, depending on how you choose to look at things. But that's fine. Just pause this thing, get this in so I can remember that that's there. Yeah, this one bit right here. And to build this, I'm going to have to take this whole thing out. So in the interest of preserving stuff from, you know, flooding everywhere, I'm just going to take that dynamite away. Actually, no, we'll do all these. Just get this whole thing down. This entire row just needs to come down one. I guess. Yeah, it's gonna have to be all the way down. And then after that, not so much. Bear with me as my brain attempts to do math. I know. I got the math equivalent of like a slide rule that's been bent in half, working in my brain. How are we doing on 8 incapacitated beavers? I've got enough of these medical beds that should be okay. 101 beavers, still 3 free beds. Again, I think we're doing fine on that. Alright, so that's going to be 2 down here and 1 down here. This obviously still needs to be taken care of, but we're not quite there yet. Get that paused so it doesn't get built. Then this, in theory, can get built with this up like this, but I figured, you know what, we can use all of the land underneath this. Make good use of our resources without having to worry about too much. Just let it be what it's going to be. How's our trees? Okay, they're still not gathered all those up yet. That's okay. Up to 528 metal blocks. Very good. Food supplies are looking good, but I don't have enough storage for all the regular food that we're making. Probably, again, something we're going to address as we expand, but it might be better to just go ahead and do it. Get ahead of the curve, so to speak. All right, so this 3x4 grid, this is what I'm attempting to fill in with the metal platform. So that's going to be, say, this thing right here. Remember to pause that. Just get as many of these in as possible. This needs to be unplanted. That needs to be removed. That needs to not have anything on there. So I'll go ahead and put a thing there. And then that also needs to have that. And then one more here. So this is too far from a district because I don't have... Yeah, I got too many berries. Too many berries. Well, it won't be that way forever. Let's just take 3 of these out here. That probably will get me close enough to build the rest of this. Maybe. I know this is too far for builders now. Which actually means that would be too far for builders once that's taken care of. So let's take these out. Berries grow back pretty quick. Well, relatively. 12 days, 12 days. So, an entire cycle. Maybe not technically quick, but too far still, really? Well, that one got taken out. That was the... No. Don't build this yet. Don't build this yet. Oh, I'm going to pause it right there. All right. I need that one to be unpaused so I can actually, you know, see to build that. Let's take one more berry away. Yes, it probably would make more sense to run this under these supports, but we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet. Okay, that's now in range. Good. So that's the last piece of path I have to build there. That's not where that goes. Oh no, that goes there. That goes there. Alright, well. You can't ever say that I didn't try. I didn't succeed. Didn't succeed a lot, but I did in fact try. Okay, so this can't go yet because this has to be blasted out. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason really to keep these aside from, hey, that's pretty cool. It comes with the map and it's a natural overhang. But for us to do too much more work on this, we're going to have to get rid of them. We don't need it at this exact moment, so it's fine, but, you know, just keep that at the back of our minds. Just be ready to do whatever we've got to do. Put this path in one more. I guess we just redo all of those in case they can get to them. Yeah, you know, I'm going to have to just start building additional food storage. Not going to be... well, no, okay. Alright, hold up. We have the technology. There's not really any reason not to be doing this. Except for not having a great... that's the... not the tab key. Alright. Alright, fermented cassava. Fermented soybean. Yeah, just get... I did a dumb. So, we're gonna... oh, it's gotta be driving you guys insane. Flip this around. I forgot I put that guy there. It's not staying there. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're gonna get this taken care of. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a logical... whatever the opposite of logical thing is. Illogical disaster. Sounds like a high school band name. Okay, now that one's too far again. Now, when I was in college, I actually don't know if any of them watch these videos, but I lived in a house with a bunch of guys. Great time, mostly. But we had a chalkboard paint wall where I guess, like, you know, people would come over, they'd draw stuff on there, or we'd have like messages. We put grocery list on there sometimes. And at one corner of the wall, we had a section for band names. Like, you know, you hear a phrase like I just did. And it's like, wow, that would be like a great name for like a pop punk band or a country band or something. And we had like a 6 foot tall list of these band names written in chalk on the wall. People would come in, they just look at that and like, there's something wrong with you guys. We'd go, yeah. Oh, it was fun though. It's fun though. I think at some point in your life, you should be in a situation where you live with a bunch of people like that. It teaches you a lot. about interpersonal relationships, about boundaries, responsibility, and what not to do sometimes. But I digress often. Let these guys take care of that stuff. I know this is not really the most stylish way to build storage over here, but I just need to start stockpiling. Bad tide again? I just need to start stockpiling more stuff over here, food-wise. See, we might get into trouble now not having enough. What are we waiting on? We have explosives. I guess the builders are. Well, there's not really that much else to build that I've told them to build. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we'll get it figured out. I gotta figure out if I want to have this be all terrain. And if so, I gotta get more dirt over here. And where do I want this to come out? I think it would be kind of cool to have this just go across the entire back of the map. And then come here, and then, I guess, mix into this mess. But depending on how we want to run this, especially if it's not going to be in use all the time, maybe it would be better to actually have this come in here and then join this bad water source. Again, this is all stuff that people have suggested in the comments or a couple in the Discord with building ideas. So if you're asking, hey, well, what are you talking about? Well, I can't just magically conjure. Well, I guess technically I can in video editing. I could, quote unquote, magically conjure images if I remember that I even talked about this when I go back to put this stuff in. But the gist of some ideas that people had was to, one, put the device on this that causes it to just constantly emit bad water so we can have a stable power source, and then have the bad water coming off of here so we can actually see. Just go straight, utilize these natural overhangs, and just go straight off the map while having these water wheels up here, which that's an idea we could definitely do. But other stuff, like one I saw today, bring this way across here, completely reroute this whole thing, and I guess this river could still have the water wheels in here with outflow from the good water stuff, and then we could have a lot more farmland, which I think would be probably long-term the best thing for us to do. But would require a lot of terraforming, and then of course using our overhangs to come out this way. And then in that scenario, this would end up coming here, this would come here, they would converge at some point and then go off the map. So we've got ideas. I'm always open to input in the comments if you have suggestions or preferences over what you would like to see. Cannot please everybody, because that's how it works. But definitely am interested to know your thoughts and your ideas about it. We'll go with whatever makes the most sense for our circumstances at that time. But I do always welcome input in that regard. Trying to keep ahead of this as much as I can. Again, it's a slow process. Was never going to be a fast one. But we do what we can do. And I think the time has come for us to say bye-bye to this deep water pump. It's causing too many issues with trying to get stuff removed here. So I'm going to reroute this to be... see, because all this has to go away. Well, I also have to be able to put the dynamite down, so maybe it's a... maybe it's just something we've got to tolerate for a little while. Put this in there. Yeah, that's going to be fine. But bad tide for this area, without messing with these sluice gates, is going to be probably the best possible time for us to, take care of this stuff. It's already 55 minutes into this. Oh boy, well that means we're almost at the end of the episode, unfortunately. But we will, at some point, take care of all of this. I know it's a very long process. I believe strongly in showing everything, even if it's time-lapsed. But that is that's where we find ourselves, friends. We're in the middle of a very long project that is not going to be something that goes quickly. It just isn't going to do that. So gotta be cognizant of that. Let's turn these. Actually, let's check our power consumption first. Yeah, we'll turn these back on. That'll get us another 1,200. We're going to be out of dirt pretty quickly here, but I don't really have the power to be messing with this. 660 metal blocks. So that's looking good. We could actually pause a couple of these, probably, because we haven't even started building this mess yet. But if I were in a little bit of a better spot with how this was going to be built, then I would be a lot more confident about filling this river. And I think what's going to happen is we already know for sure that the space upon which the stilts are going to be built needs to be at the same level. So if nothing else, I can get these built. This one, at the very least. Pause that so I don't have to worry about it. And then I can fill in the rest no matter what from any point after this is built and the water's already being diverted onto here. I think that's probably going to be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and make the commitment that this center of this platform is going to be an irrigation station. I think, grand scheme of things, that's going to make the most sense. This will be irrigation station, and then if we have this part of the river here mostly undisturbed, then that's going to take care of irrigating the rest of this without much consequence, I think. We'll see what happens. It's possible that I'm going to have to make a couple of these, but it sure would be nice to just have the one. And I know for a fact that this will take care of this entire area, pretty much underneath the entire platform here. Maybe this corner isn't going to be perfect, but we will deal with that. So what that's going to require is that we fill in here. It doesn't have to be a specific depth. I just have always had those be 2 deep, but I think I can leave those as 3 deep and be okay. So if I just go in like that to start, I think they can make that happen. Get this blasted out here. I hope they can still build this. If not, then I'll just, put in a platform, because that's going to be fine. Doubles. Not going to need to have a, spout or anything, because it's going to come in from above. And depending on how we want to run our farms, I guess. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. This whole thing, double platform. Blast these out. And then if I'm going to have this in the center, then it's actually not going to be possible to put a farmhouse directly underneath it. But, it doesn't matter, strictly speaking. It just has to be able to dump somewhere. And the building's not going to be flooded unless the water gets up high enough. Pretty sure it can't be flooded even if the water's flowing through, top to bottom through the building, as long as the base water level is not higher. So we just have to keep in mind when we actually build the thing, how we have stuff set up. And again, I'm doing this for the first time right now, so it's going to be a little weird, but it's going to be fine. So, base level, this has to be here, no matter what. The attachment to... Okay, that's got to be paused. But the attachment to the metal platform has to be there because that's where it goes. That leaves us with the option to put a farmhouse anywhere except right here, which I guess I'm going to have to bring this... There we go. Now I can actually see. Now we have to check clearances around... Okay, so basically anywhere. We have these little spars, but that I think is going to be fine. Pathway-wise, we have those other considerations. but I believe, based on... Yeah, that's going to work. So we only lose, doing it this way, we only lose 2 tiles of farmable land. There in the middle of this. Yeah, that's going to be fine. That's done. All right. So I will go ahead and just put this way. We'll demolish these berry bushes. Again, we have so many berries for right now. We're totally okay. And that will be our new path there. Fermented soybean storage here probably needs to... Oh, yeah, we can empty this immediately. Both of those can go away. Make this nice and straight. We got half a day left until the end of the bad tide, so that's... that was quick. Get rid of that. This is probably going to, you know, be subject to change over time. But let's hit pause real quick because we still have daylight. So this one farmhouse, I know we might have a little bit of an interesting water situation occur here for a little while because of how tight this is, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. This one farmhouse, once this land is all in the same chunk, this guy can handle most of this by himself. There will be more because, you know, we're going to have those, but I think, you know, grand scheme of things, it's going to be just fine. We've got space that can't be grown on here, so we could do little tiny storages, should we feel so inclined, because, again, you can't grow anything on here. And this will be automatically filled to a certain height once the thing on top of it is constructed. So, since I have you here, let's just go ahead. I will put this here. Levee here, here, here. Platform here. And then I almost said irrigable floor. Impermeable floor. There's very, very different meanings there. But this should, being the operative term, give us what we want here. Let's examine our location of our blue square. I think we said, or somebody in the comments said, because it's going to be either all the way open or all the way closed, you're going to want to keep it about 1.6, 1.7, or 0.6, 0.7 relative to how many tiles are above or below. But we also need it to have enough height. I'm going to try 1.7. Again, the reason why you have that, because this is only all the way open or only all the way closed. There is no in between, so it might have some flooding depending on how quickly it can modulate itself. But that would be our basic design. Super simple. Doesn't take up any space, hardly at all. And will be waterproof. Of course, the impermeable floors have to be quite literally everywhere on this thing. But that is where we're at. That gets blasted there. One more here, and then yeah, we're gonna be pretty far on our way here. Just so much to get rid of. So much to get rid of. And it's going to take a long time. But hopefully you can see the vision. I think, well, I hope that I've done a decent job of explaining it. But if you got any questions about it, please do not hesitate to let me know. And I'll try to explain. Maybe people who are smarter than me in the comments can figure that out. I'll pause this because we don't really need it at this exact moment. But unfortunately, time is going to tell us that we have to end the episode now. Well, we don't have to. I'm sure there's some of you who would be very happy with having a hour and a half, 2 hour long episode in this series. But I do have to draw the line somewhere. So that's going to be it for today, friends. We have gotten so much stuff done. We're in a really good spot. We're continuing slowly to get the rest of this stuff brought in. I thought this was going to be a much bigger problem with water flow than it ended up being. So that's good news. That's good news. We can continue filling this in as time warrants, and obviously blasting this out. It would be really nice if we had a drought next cycle, or I guess this cycle technically, so we could reconfigure this to start diverting bad water once we have all of this taken care of, which is It's still going to take a while. But that's all the time we have for today, or I'm going to really get myself in trouble here. I appreciate you guys so much watching this series, giving good ideas, providing honest feedback. I do always read all the comments. Can't respond to everybody. But I do genuinely have an interest in what you guys have to say about what we're doing, because remember, it is a Let's Play, not a Watch Me Play. How many times have I said that one? How many videos? Almost 1,000 videos? Sheesh. But I do mean it. Your input is valuable. You're valuable. I'm glad you're here. Beard Boosters, of course, thank you for your support on the channel, making it possible to continue doing stuff like this. And genuinely could not do without you. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll be back in this series on Friday. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.